Sunlight now generates more electricity than coal in Europe. How did we reach this point, and what could happen next?
Today is May 31st, 2025. For the first time since the 1940s, clean power sources, so renewables plus nuclear, have generated over 40% of the world's electricity. That's according to Ember's latest report. Do you think this is a real turning point for global energy systems?
It's a major change. In 2024, low-carbon sources made up about 40.9% of global electricity. But it's solar that's really leading the way. Last year, solar generation grew by 29%. That continues a 20-year streak as the fastest-growing power source worldwide.
20 years in a row. That's more than a trend. That's a transformation. How big is solar now in terms of actual electricity generated?
Solar now provides over 2,000 terawatt-hours globally. That's double what it was just 3 years ago. In 2024, solar added 474 terawatt-hours, pushing its share to almost 7% of global generation. And for the first time, solar outpaced coal in the European Union.
Interesting. So is solar leaving other renewables behind, or is this part of a bigger shift?
It's definitely broader. Hydropower is still the largest single low-carbon source at 14.3%. But in 2024, wind and solar together generated more electricity than hydropower for the first time. Nuclear stands at 9%, wind at 8.1%. Projections show that by 2025, renewables as a whole should overtake coal globally. By 2026, wind and solar are expected to pass nuclear, and by 2029, solar is likely to become the largest renewable worldwide. Solar is likely to become the largest renewable worldwide.
Who's really driving this? Is it just a few countries, or is this shift happening everywhere?
China and the EU are leading. China added nearly 350 gigawatts of renewable capacity in 2023. That's about 2/3 of all new global capacity. Over half the world's solar growth last year came from China alone. The EU, facing an energy crisis, nearly doubled its annual growth in solar and wind. In 2024, solar generated more electricity than coal in the EU, and the region saw the world's biggest drop in coal use.
What's behind the sharp rise in electricity demand, especially alongside all this renewable growth?
Several factors. Global electricity demand rose 4.3% in 2024, which was actually faster than GDP growth. Extreme heat increased demand for cooling. Electric vehicle sales climbed over 25% to 17 million. Data centers grew by 20%, especially in the US and China. But buildings, residential and commercial, accounted for almost 60% of all electricity growth.
With all that extra demand, have emissions started falling yet, or is it too soon?
Not quite yet. The record demand, particularly from heat waves, caused a small rise in fossil fuel generation, so power sector emissions hit a new high. To reach net zero targets, renewables need to expand by about 15% each year through 2030. Some countries are still falling behind. For example, Japan's non-fossil generation was just 31.5% in 2024.
That's a tough balance. What about countries whose economies rely on fossil fuels? How are they coping?
It's not easy. Transitioning economies and infrastructure away from oil and gas takes time, but there are opportunities. Countries can diversify their energy mix, attract new investment, and create jobs in renewables. There's also a geopolitical angle. Traditional exporters could face pressure, but might also become leaders in new technologies if they adapt.
Which sectors are feeling the biggest changes right now?
The power sector is seeing the most disruption, especially coal-fired generation. Utilities are moving toward renewables, storage, and smarter grids. Transport is electrifying quickly, and tech sectors, like data centers, are increasing both demand and their focus on clean power.
Are there any standout policies helping countries lead this transition?
Yes, China's 14th five-year plan for renewables is a major driver. And in the EU, the Repower EU and Green Deal Industrial Plan play big roles. These combine carbon pricing, targeted subsidies, and ambitious deployment goals.
And for workers in traditional sectors, What's being done to help them?
Just transition programs are central. They retrain workers for jobs in renewables. In former coal regions, community projects are building wind and solar, creating new jobs and helping local economies. Schools and industries are teaming up to teach the right skills.
So why does this milestone matter beyond the headline numbers?
It's about more than clean energy. This shift brings new jobs, innovation, and changes in global influence. It's also a practical way to tackle climate change and rethink economic growth.
We began with sunlight overtaking coal in Europe. Now it's a global story, still unfolding, with both challenges and opportunities ahead.
Thanks for joining us for this look at the world's energy transformation. The move to renewables is shaping economies, politics, and how we live, well beyond just the environment.
Thank you for listening. This episode was brought to you by mynews.studio. Try it now for free.